can programs be supportive in this way in other counties?
It took us a really long time to put on the Spanish training, which is really the beginning of this project. This kind of came out of that, but I think that we had been just planning, trying to figure out how we were going to do it, and then Alejandro was like, look, in my country we just make a party and then we do it. And then we just called a bunch of people and like just piecemealed this training together, and we got it accredited through WSCADV, and so that these people could actually be volunteers. We have to be a lot more relaxed between boundaries between survivors and volunteers, or at least our volunteer training. The goal of volunteer training is not to get volunteers, but to create more of a grassroots movement so that people can do advocacy with their neighbors, with their friends, with their daughters, with their mothers, with their sisters, and just be able to address domestic violence in their community when they see it. Afterwards, we were just trying to think of a way to keep it going, to keep these women communicating, because it was a really different kind of volunteer training that we did. And so Sandy started a women's justice circle with them, and then they kind of took it to their own, and they just self-organized this project, the NIJAS project. They wanted to make money. They were all having problems with their economic situation. It was keeping them from leaving abusive relationships. It was keeping their friends and their community members from leaving their relationships. So they just decided to create this restaurant, this transitional restaurant, and to be able to help survivors at the same time, to work on teaching them job skills and working really on their self-esteem and then their teamwork. And that was the best. And I know Lucila is always saying, like, it's the therapy. That is therapy.
Una mujer que está saliendo de violencia doméstica, más que dinero y cosas materiales, necesita motivación. Okay. Para que ellas se demuestren que porque muchos de los hombres te dicen no sirves para nada, ¿qué estás haciendo ahí? Mira qué fea estás, qué gorda estás, o no puedes hacer nada, tú sin mí no eres nada. Eso es lo que regularmente un hombre le dice a una mujer. Y lo único que queremos es que nos digan felicidades, tú puedes, eres grande. Motivarnos. Entonces programas como este, demostrar nuestras habilidades. Nosotros fuimos víctimas de violencia doméstica y sabemos lo duro que es pasar por todo eso.
Claro. Y esta unión entre todas.
Más que nada es por las que vienen atrás, porque muchas de ellas tienen muchas habilidades que no saben que la tienen. Okay. Y MIJAS es un proyecto como para que ellos se demuestren qué tanto pueden hacer. Aparte no solamente queremos hacer la cocina, queremos también proveerles cuidado de niños. Y también que ellas mismas participen en eso. Yo quiero que se beneficien las mujeres que se están quedando solas con sus hijos y sin el apoyo de su agresor, entre comillas, porque muchos de nosotros tendemos a volver por la situación económica, o porque nos sentimos solas, o porque de verdad nos creemos tanto que de plano no servimos para nada, que ahí volvemos para atrás. Entonces, siempre me gusta mencionarlo, pero se me olvida. Es como un tipo terapia. Terapia. Es como un tipo terapia para la autoestima.
So how do you think, Christina, that traditional domestic violence programs could be helpful if other communities want to do something like MIJAS is doing?
I think it's, well, a lot of working together. I think it's, like just working with the women and for years realizing what we're able to do, like for them to realize what they're able to do. Like our first event, we were shooting for 100 people and we thought our goal was just ridiculous, like it was just too much. And we had about 125, and then at the end of the night we were like, holy cow, what did we just do? Like it was really impressive. And then Lucy and Eddie's daughter would come and help us, and they love it, and it's just such a cool feeling to see their daughters being so proud of their mothers because they're executives and they have their own restaurants. So I think it's just like the self-esteem and the awareness that they can do really amazing things.
de la mar, por aquí pueden pasar. Los de adelante corren mucho y los de atrás se quedarán. Tras, 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 una mexicana que fruta vendía, ciruelas, chabacanes, melones y sandías. Melón será sandía, será la vieja del otro día.
When we spoke about, how the cycle of violence and everything, they were like, yeah, I said, would you be interested in, starting a support group, for other women? And they said, yeah, we should, I said, well, if you can help me find 2 more women, and then we can start growing from there, that would be nice, And they said that they were going to try to get each one was going to get 1 more person,
Do you know that I've been with this group 10 years? 10 years, yeah. Very few breaks, few and far between, just because the women wanted to see each other every week. Now, when I'm not around, like, what was it, last Friday, I had to work in Okanagan, they still go ahead and meet. They get together in one of their homes, or they go to the park if the weather is nice, but they managed to figure out something on their own. I think it was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I counted how many women have gone through our group here in Orville, and it was 88. Wow. 88 women. Right now I have, I think it's 8 or 9 that are registered on my, in the roster.
And what's the process if people bring visitors?
Well, because it's people that they have known, or they in their travels they meet, and you can pull out right here just so we can see. Gosh, you see it coming out right there? Actually, it comes out right here. I wish we had time, we would walk down because it's just gorgeous. And the women, once a year, we come out and just take in nature, and we talk about what the year has done. Because that's kind of the new, we do that in the spring, usually around April or May. So just the renewal of their lives, what they've gone through, the different changes that they've, how they have gone from the situation when they first started coming to group and now where they are. So it's really a good experience, and they just love it. And we bring a lunch. There's several places along the way where we can sit and eat.
What was it about Mary's connection with you that was helpful?
You can have a feeling of a person when you see her right away. I was 15 and I knew she was the one that was going to help me go through this. When I saw her at first, and she was Hispanic, she knew my language, and when she said, I'm here to help you, and you're going to be okay, and you're going to get out of this, When she told me that, I just cried, and that was my first expression, because I knew that there was somebody there for me. And that's a good feeling when somebody cares for you, even if they don't even know you, and they don't even know the situation you're going through, but they can feel when you're telling the story, I remember, and we talk about it sometimes, I'm like, Mary, I remember when you used to cry with me, and she was trying to be strong for me, but sometimes she couldn't. So we were both crying, and that's a connection right there. That's a connection right there for advocating with clients.